Constance in Famine says, what about AMSOIL? So talking about different oils. I think this is a personal preference. I'm not an oil expert. The AMSOIL makes a great product. Mobil makes a good product. For me, in the outboard world, you definitely want a marine oil. I wouldn't be using a non-marine grade oil in an outboard or an inboard, anything like that, mainly because of the environment. So with an engine that is being used on a boat, you have a lot different factors to take into consideration opposed to your car. So your car it's on land. It's got a closed loop cooling system with a radiator using antifreeze. Compared to a marine engine, you're being used on the water and you are using a lot higher RPM as well as a raw water cooling system, which means that you are, you're constantly running closed, it's raw water going through the engine, which comes with its own problem. So the actual cooling of the engine, the oil is not getting as hot. So on your car, your oil temp, depending on the car and the model, is going to vary greatly. Some of them are 190 degrees when you're running. Some of them are up into the 200s. So you're talking, 220, 230. So you've got a lot hotter oil in the car than you do with the boat. So in the boat, on the outboard, the oil tank is basically submerged in the water, which keeps that oil temp down a lot. Yes, at wide open throttle, the oil temp is going to get up to 220, 230, depending on the model. It's going to get up into the 200s, but the colder the oil is, and because of the air that is being used, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. Because think about condensation. If it's running really cold, you can create condensation. Condensation is oil, or is water, and that water can accumulate in the oil. The oil not getting as hot as it does in the car is unable to burn off that water. So you have an issue of potentially getting water in the oil. So the attributes and the makeup of the oil needs to be able to account for the lower temperatures and the possibility of getting a small amount of oil, of water into the oil. So the makeup and the chemical properties of the oil need to be specific for the marine application. That's, hands down, doesn't matter if Mobil, AMSOIL, whatever the oil product is, it needs to be a marine based product because it needs to have those properties built into it. Unlike your car that runs, like I said, 220 degrees regular, whereas the engine oil in the outboard is going to be a lot colder. I mean, it might be running 160. Like it's a lot colder. As far as the different brands, my personal opinion, I like to stick with OEM. I like Yamalube. I like Merck's. I like the Quicksilver. If Suzuki's, I like Suzuki. So I kind of tend to, it doesn't mean one's right or wrong. It's just been ingrained in me working at dealerships and working for brand manufacturers. I stick with the brand that it is. So, that's my personal opinion. Argue what you want to argue about it. I'm not an oil expert either. So I think AMSOIL makes a great product. Mobil makes a great product. Pennzoil makes a good product. So I think all three of them make a marine grade oil. So, whether it's conventional or unconventional, fully synthetic, all those variables play into a part. I stick with the OEM and, I think biggest thing, marine and the right viscosity. Make sure you're using the right viscosity for wherever you're at. That would be my two main things that I would say. Now, if you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode over here, or you can watch another one over here.